Hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. Dawn. And guess what? It's Mystical Monday on a Thursday. How about that? We're on a special day and time this week because we have a special guest that's joining us to help us wrap up the new year. So before we get started, you guys know what we got to do. Let's count it down and give everyone time to come into the chat. Hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. Dawn. Hi, everybody. Hey, hey, hey. It's Mystical Monday. Thank you for joining me tonight. Hello, I'm back. It's Dr. Dawn, and welcome to Mystical Monday on Thursday night. Yay. For those of you who are joining us tonight, we're going to give you a little bit of time to come into the chat because we know that Mystical Monday is all about the live chat, right? If you're joining us here for the first time tonight, please feel free to comment, ask questions in the chat. We love that. That's what this show is all about. Tonight's show is going to be really great. We have a special guest, but before I bring her on, I got to tell you who I am. My name is Dr. Dawn. I am an intuitive guide and spiritual messenger. However, my guest last week, Miss Erin Lyons, she said, "You know what? I'm getting a channeled message that you are like a galactic psychic." I said, "I love it. Galactic psychic. I love that." So I'm going to use that title too. But tonight, it's not about me. It's not about information that I'm going to give or share with you guys of the collective. It's about Miss Natallie Nadine, who is joining us. She is a light code activator, a channeler, a healer. She's all that. She's been on here before, but she's going to come tonight to help me end off the year, actually, and this year of Mystical Monday. So she's going to get us kind of an end of the year wrap up as it relates to energy and DNA codes and portals and just all kinds of stuff she's going to share with us. So I'm going to bring Natalie on. You guys keep coming in the chat and let's get ready to go. Okay, here we go. There she is. Hello, Natalie.
Hello.
Let's see which one looks better. This view. Oh, look, that's too close. Wait a minute. I don't like that close up. She looks good, but I don't like my close up tonight. I don't like my close up. Look at the people coming in the chat. They say, "So excited, Natalie." Look at the people love Natalie. Yay.
Let me look over here at the chat.
Can you see the chat on your end?
Oh, yeah. If I switch between screens, I can't see.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not a stranger to Mystical Monday. We had you on before, yay. And I thought to myself, what better way to end this year than with like an end of the year wrap up with Miss Natalie, because you could do it and do it so well. Um, and I say that because all I did was just look at some of your videos that I know I've watched just recently, and you kind of are giving us information, not in a wrap up way, but you're kind of giving us a summary of kind of what's happening in the planet now. So it's going to all go together. So look, everybody says good evening. Oh, everybody says this is going to be awesome. Natalie, you better make it awesome. The people say it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
So look, let's start first and foremost. Oh, let's see. Let's start with some DNA. Let's start with portals. Let's start with an energy update. I'm excited about the energy update.
Energy
What's happening
update
on the planet?
Okay. Let me just ask. I always like to ask, where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do first? Or like who, or people start yelling at me from above, like, there's an order of priority of things to do. So they're just, divine fluid. So let me just ask what it is that they would like us to like share and discover and connect with. So I think they're just going to open it up with energetic space. So connecting everybody's energy in a spot and a way that feels very quiet, regulated, and aligned. So, your energy will match my energy. So I'm just feeling that energy now. You'll probably hear my light language as it like just aligns the energies of everybody to match my nervous system so that mine's not pulled by everybody else's. You're pulled to match my Sokomanite, which is, uh, I don't even know if there's an English word for that. So if everybody just takes a deep breath, and let it out. And I'm pulling your systems to match mine. So quiet. Okay, I think it's good. Okay, so we have a really nice container and everybody is their nervous system is all the same. So this is a little bit like uh the feeling that I get. I'm going to give you a visual for what looked like just happened for me. So think of a herd of deer out in a field and they're grazing, they're happy, they're doing their stuff, they're, happy and excited to be out in this field, this meadow full of green grass. It's just so like abundant and so fun. And one of the deer, all it takes is one deer to poke their head up and send a signal through the whole herd of like, "Ah!" you know? And all of them stop eating and they're all like big eyed and they're all staring. And it's that nervous system because nobody really had to say anything. They didn't make any noise. They didn't run off, but it sends this like a ripple effect through everybody's nervous system.
Mm.
And so when we come together in spaces like this, we want to make sure that one person doesn't poke their head up and have a response of like, wait a second, and it send a ripple effect through all of us. So it was asking me to come in and just pull everything in and hold that space so that even if somebody does poke their head up, it doesn't matter. We're just going to stay centered and right here anyway. It's totally fine. So that's what that opening was about. Mhm.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
AKA me. I needed that.
Mm, for
Um,
sure.
let's do you wanna we talked a little bit about the heart space and someone maybe, needing that
Yeah,
initially. So I don't know if you want to explain or go into that.
that's next. So as I was coming into this, I was like loading up my link and I was loading up to come in. And I had this pressure that was starting on my chest. And it's like someone holds a magnet, like a really strong magnet on my chest. And I'm like,
Mm,
why does it feel like the space in my chest is constricted because
mhm,
there's a big strong magnet on it and it feels tight and it feels a little bit like it burns a little bit. So
mm,
I was asking, like, "What is that?" And they're like, "Oh, there's something to do with one of the people that will show up." And I was like, "Okay, that makes sense because that's what happened last time we were here, so
yeah.
it makes sense." So they're like, "You don't have to identify who the person is." Usually in these types of situations, when one individual has something, the whole like all of us can benefit from us. So they'll have me do some work and one person be the, you know, leader or the transmuter of all of that. So they'll be led in to be able to receive the work for the purposes of everybody benefiting.
Oh, okay. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
You calm me. You always calm me. And you don't even have to
Oh,
do much,
good.
but just sit there. Just sit and be Natalie, and usually that'll do the trick. We love you for that. We need that in our lives.
Oh, oh, that's
Um,
so good.
you actually on your Instagram. You are becoming like, to me, our little energy awareness update news person. Like, you're always kind of telling us, like you did the video, like, okay, you guys are feeling like tightness in your jaws or in this, like, this is what it is. Like, you're giving us play by play daily, so to speak, because you've amped up your Instagram postings. I see you're getting more frequent with giving us updates. I always call them updates
Mhm.
because I go, there's
Yeah,
Natalie with another update. And
yeah.
so you talked a little bit about some of the codes, some of the DNA codes that were happening right now. So I said, let me get her to talk a little bit more about these DNA codes that are happening right now.
Oh, this is such an exciting topic. So, like, what is happening? I'm very visual. So, in the morning when I wake up, I will often have like you're barely awake yet. You haven't moved, you haven't opened your eyes, you haven't done anything yet. In that time frame is a really important time to use your best brain waves to access the most important questions, like the answers to the most important questions. And so if you sit in that time, you will have all kinds of information that starts coming in, and you have to kind of discern and decipher what's what. So for me, that's when my guides will kind of come in. The other time that my guides will come in and give information is in the middle of the day. They'll be like, stop, 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 stop everything. You have to go lay on your mat, and we have something really important to tell you. But the problem was, as soon as I started to, click record and start to tell you guys, it would only come out in light language because anytime I get connected with the energy, it just starts flowing. And so I'm like, then I have to switch it back to English. So I'm like, it comes in English, it comes out in a light language, and then I have to flip it back to English. I'm like, guys, this isn't logical. This makes no sense. Just put me in trance and then like let it come out of me in English. And they're like, no, 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 we can't do that. So I'm like trying to decipher how best to get this information that I know out to you guys. And so they're like, remember when you were a kid? I used to write these amazing stories. I'm like, yeah. They're like, remember how you would type and you would be able to like let it flow so seamlessly, like you weren't even thinking? I'm like, yeah, it was amazing. They're like, that was channeling. Just do that. And I was like, what? Like, really? They're like, yeah, really. Like, they talk to me sometimes, like, obviously. And I was like, "But I didn't know." And they're like, "You just didn't remember." So I'm like, "Okay." So they'll have me go to my mat, they'll put my laptop there so I can type, and they will just talk to me about what's happening, what the updates are, what's gonna happen this and that, and the like, and I will just type it all out. So I just have a big, long running Google document about all these updates and things that they're giving. And so then, because it's already out of me, I can then talk about some of it. It's so much easier. Um, so that's been sort of the new way of channeling
Well,
information.
can you, because I know you did a video on this and somebody put in the comments, oh, so you're talking about scripting, and you were like, no, that's a little different. So can you tell them the difference kind of between scripting and what you're describing?
Right. So there is times where um, you can channel like you're so if you most people know about it from writing. So we hear the term auto writing, like, oh, that's auto writing, where you just let your hand go loose and you automatically just write out things, and afterwards you're like, oh wow, look at that, like I got the answer, I just wrote it. It just
Right.
you just go kind of limp and loose, and you just let the pen go, and it will just automatically, like somebody else is writing with your hand. And that for me was my version of auto writing. This is different. This is a voice in your head that's not mine, that is the person will usually identify themselves, like the being will usually identify themselves, or sometimes it's a collective and they'll identify themselves. And I just type what they tell me in my head. So the voice in my head, what it says, I dictate. So if you think about sitting in a doctor's office and the doctor has to dictate this stuff, they're just typing what you say, or they've recorded it and then somebody else is going to type what they hear on that recording. All I hear is almost like the recording. So they're
Mm.
like transmitting this information to me, and I'm conscious and aware. I'm not in trance. I'm not like, you know, I'm not anything. I'm kind of in meditation, I guess, because I'm connecting and listening to them. Um, and then I just dictate out what is being said. Um,
And so the information that you're hearing, is it coded or is it in your, a language, well, English basically? Is it in that,
Mhm.
or are you decoding it as you type it?
Mm-mm. I am conscious and it's in English.
Oh, it's in
And
English.
so
Okay, so
the good part about that is I can actually have conversations. So when they say I'm the council of whatever and I'm coming to talk to you about these upgrades, I'll say like, are you talking about this DNA strand or this one? Because we only have two, like one strand, and this little ladder thing in between, and it twists. Like that's what it looks like for me. And they're like, yeah, we're talking about another whole strand. And I'm like, well, where does the strand go? So there's this conversation backwards and forwards where I can paraphrase what I hear from them and they can be like, "Yeah, that's great that you think that, but this is actually what it looks like." And then they'll give me like the visual and then I'll say, "Okay, when someone comes to me for DNA strand activation, where do I put the strand? Like, how does that like I don't know where to put this strand that you're telling me." And they're like, "Oh, it's already there." Like it's just a dormant strand and you're just going to light that dormant strand up. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So then what should it look like? So this back and forth conversation takes place and then that's how I can extract so much knowledge because oftentimes when we channel, we just get to channel the information
right.
and we're in trance so where it's not like we're having this conscious conversation backwards and forwards. You're just like if you think of like some of the channelers that we know that are popular on IG, they will almost like in a trance become or that thing kind of takes over and their voice changes and you just hear the being talking.
That's
um
right.
so this is sort of a different way because I don't become the being and I'm able to interact with that being.
So I'm glad. Let's talk about that, because oftentimes I get a lot of people who come to me who are inquisitive as it relates to light language and light language activation. And a lot of people have the idea that a being is actually taking over your body or stepping into your body, if you will. You're allowing permission or access from higher dimensional beings to actually come into your body and to, I want to say, consume Natalie's space, so to speak.
Mhm.
And I don't feel as if that's what's happening. I feel like you are actually in communication with the being, and not so much that they have said, "Oh, let me step inside of her body and use
Mhm.
her body to communicate." Something totally different, correct?
Totally different. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that for me is what I call an embodiment. So
Mhm.
I can see it's like a version of me. It's like for me, there's past life incarnations that are I have had that are me. So I have like all these galactic beings that I've been, and they will come back to me and they will guide processes. They will give
Mm.
information and they're essentially versions of you. And some might say they're your higher selves coming back to guide you. Um, but then we have like an earth person higher self. Like we have different versions and different aspects of ourselves. So there will be sometimes I've had myself in different incarnations ask to embody me. And so that they
Mm.
can come and drop in and it feels so it is definitely consent. You also need to know like that this is for sure them and not some trickster version of them. And then for me, I have the conversation like, what's your purpose? Like, what's the agenda? What's the purpose? And usually I'm in the mission, in the middle of a mission. So I'm like actively doing something and I'm like, I don't understand. And they're like, let me embody so that we can complete this. And I'm like, okay, for how long we're just doing this task. Like I set the parameters around it and then it feels you can feel pressure tingling and then it's like just a shiver like it shivers all through your body and then that's the embodiment. And if I muscle test if I'm Natalie, I am still Natalie. Like there's nothing different about me. I'm still me. I still sound like me. But
Mm.
the difference is when I muscle test and I ask, I can access which part, like I can have access to that being of me,
Mm.
that version of me. If that
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then when I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm done and like you need to exit. And so off that will go as well.
I get it. I see. Someone
Mhm.
says, "Is this like Natasha says, is this like Bashar does? Would that be
Eh,
similar to
it's
Bashar?
It's a little yeah, it's a little similar.
Okay.
Bashar sounds different.
Yeah, he does.
So you can tell like that there's somebody else going like knock knock, where's the other guy? You know, and for me, you wouldn't necessarily see that. You would only be able to see that on the 5D side. So like the spiritual team I work with would see me as showing up as different because
Okay.
of that embodiment. Um,
I
yeah.
get it. I get it.
Mhm.
Hutch says, do walk-ins get channeled? I'm not
Mm.
clear on what that means. Get channeled. Do walk-ins get channeled? I don't know
So,
what that means.
I think, so when you're talking about walk-ins, I think of walk-ins as different than embodiments. So, embodiments are your incarnations of you coming in to you, to embody you. They're versions of you. When you have um, like a walk-in, it's usually for me, what I've seen is either super traumatic experiences
Mhm.
or something that says it's like some other thing. It's not necessarily it doesn't necessarily have to be you, but they say, okay, like we have had enough of watching this abuse or trauma or whatever is happening. We are going to come in, and this original soul is going to exit.
Mm.
So there is like a soul switch, sort of, or a huge piece of you comes in and walks into you. And it was sort of a contracted thing prior to coming, where they're
Got
like, there's going to be a lot of abuse and we might need to help out here. So let's just be on standby in case we need to walk in. Um, yeah.
Thank you. That clarifies. I think that clarifies what he was trying to say. So, with the channel info, like when did this start happening for you with the typing and the channel information? Did this just recently happen? Because
Yeah.
I know we're all getting some upgrades right now, and things are happening that have not been happening before. And you were so excited on your Instagram. You were like, "Okay, you guys, guess what's happening to me now?" So I was like, "Okay, she's getting her upgrade." And it's almost like, look, when you see it happening to other people, you're like, "Okay, mine
When's
is coming.
mine?
I get, what am I gonna do? What's my upgrade? Come on, come on." So when you did that, I was like, okay, we're in the flow of upgrades. So did this just happen to you recently?
This just happened recently. So it was maybe one day last week. No, November 30th was when I started my document of like the
Okay.
running document. So that was my first day where I was like, let's give this a try and see what happens. And then there's been like lots of information about like Stargates. The information started out with talking about how we're being assisted for the purposes of aligning to the new system. So in I knew back in the summer that September, December time and January, we were going to be going into a new something, something,
Mhm.
but they weren't really saying what. But they were giving me lots of clues that it's going to be like rough, but we'll be okay. And it's going to be new and it's going to be a new system. So what took place was in September, there was a new grid. So think of the grid as our immune system. It like shields us and blocks out things. So if you were going to catch a cold, our immune system before September was very mature. It it was like an adult version of immune system. It just stopped everything. It was like really good, but it couldn't take us on the ascension trajectory and get us into the spot in the time frame that was needed.
Mm.
So they were like, okay, whoa, there's a lot of things that have happened here on Earth. At this time, there's been a lot that has happened. And it was kind of unexpected. So they were like, this was our trajectory, but we are not going to meet it at that point. We're going to miss the boat. Like, we got to speed things up. And so they're like, crap, what are we going to do? So they got together and they like sat around and they had this conversation and they came up with the idea of you need a new grid system, one
Ah,
that is a little bit like more attuned to allow some of the frequencies in. But the downside is if we give you a new grid, we have to take the old grid out, put the new grid in, put everybody connected to it, fire it up, and then it's child's immune system. So think of like our
Oh.
infants and our baby, like our toddlers, they pick up everything. So this was the phase where a lot of people were saying like something's wrong. I feel like I'm getting psychically attacked. I feel like there's like something crazy is happening. Like people are acting crazy. Like something's wrong. Um that was during that time because we were getting things coming in that typically our old grid would have stopped.
Mm.
And so we're not a collective that is used to talking about, I feel paranoid, like something's watching me, like something's weird's happening, like people at work are acting crazy, it doesn't feel comfortable here. Like all of those things, we're not real comfortable about talking about darkness. We have this kind of um, thinking that if you don't focus on it, it's not happening. So we just keep
Right.
moving and keep your frequency high and just keep moving. So our collective wasn't real good at cleansing, daily hygiene. They didn't have to have those things um, as high priority because our grid used to catch that stuff. So then we started going through that stuff. Um, our we moved in. What happened after that? So our grid fired up. It was really good. And then as the lunar eclipse came in, the fibers started to thicken through our system, through that grid system. So we started to catch more things and we started to see a reduction of like people acting crazy. like, and it started to balance out a little bit. And so now our trajectory is going, well, now we're at that place where our stargates are starting to come online. And so just in the past 2 days, I've had 3 clients that have come in and they've like, they just say to me, "Natalie, it's time. I've been watching for a while, and I know now it's time. Like, I'm being sent now. For some reason, it's now is the time." And I will hear in my head when they're having this conversation that they're Stargate Keeper number 7 or 5 or 2 or whatever, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're the Stargate Keeper for 2." Um, and so then we'll go in and we'll look at, like, the location on our Google Maps where that where the beginning and the end is. And a lot of times what we're finding is that these these stargates, they look so beautiful too. When you pull up a map and look at them, it is clear to see them. Like it's when you know where to look, you're like, that piece doesn't belong there. Look at that piece right there on the map. Like that is not there's something with that piece. It very clearly stands out. They're usually circular and they're like white in a s
Mm.
where nothing else is white. Like, it looks like a big sand dune in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, "Why is that there?" And then you intuitively just are like, "That's supposed to be picked up and moved." And I mean, I can't pick up a whole country here in the 3D, but, like, in the 5D, we go in with the client and we pick it up and we move it to its new location, and as we get close to the new location, it, like, pops into its spot. Um,
Mm.
so, yeah, I had a really talented, person who does channeling, and he draws out the maps. So it looks like codes that he, draws, and
Yeah.
then I just the clients find me, we find their Stargate, and we look to see what has drifted because they haven't been used in such a long time, or they've been sort of dormant, or they've been like, mm, I wanna say in the wrong hands, but, for different purposes, they've been kinda just either turned off, turned down low, or relocated. Um,
Mm.
and so because there hasn't been a whole like, they were at their full capacity energetic-wise, different parts of them have shifted. And so when I'm seeing the stargates, they are circular things. Here on the 3D map, you can see the circular things, and another one has drifted off. So when I look at the like map that this guy has drawn and given to us, he's got the perfect alignments of where these land masses are supposed to be. And so I take his map and I take the 3D and I pull all the pieces in where they're supposed to be. And then it on the 5D side, you can see it light up and the energy flow through it, and then it pulls
Mm.
all the pieces into alignment. So I only need to usually get 2 pieces into the right spot energetically, and then the Stargate will fire up and pull all the rest of the pieces in. And then it activates our grid in a different way. And that is what allows our DNA structures to that strands that I was talking about, those
Yeah.
are going to come online. So we're used to getting codes to address our DNA, but we're not used to having like a whole strand fire up.
And so are these strands firing up? Are they in alignment with the Stargates? That are the Stargates are what is causing the strands to activate, so to speak,
Yeah.
altogether?
So
Oh, go ahead.
mhm. There's going to be information that is accessed. So one of the big stargates that we activated yesterday. So there's us here on like Earth, and then there's the angel creations all around.
Mhm.
But then above us and all of that stuff is what the Ascension glossary calls the seven higher heavens.
Mhm.
And those have the beings in there that are host guardian beings. And so those ones are like the aurora rays, the Elohims, the Oraphim. So we're used to hearing about the seraphim angels.
Mhm.
Well, the next step up in that higher heaven section with those guardian races are those they look very light. So there's no physical form to them. Typically, they're just light beings, and they are overseeing this project around yes, ascension, but helping us understand those stargates and helping bring in different DNA structures to our structure that's there already.
Hmm. Hutch says founder flame racist.
Yes, there we
Wow.
go. Yeah, and then it gets into like the diamonds and the emerald holders, and it gets really deep. So if you want more of that kind of language, it's all on Ascension, a glossary. And you just like type in one of those terms and it will be an article, and then there's 5 other links in that article to other articles, and you just like 20 links open on your page because there's so much information about it. It's all about restoring our templates, and restoring our templates help us bring about our DNA upgrading, and that helps us bring about our memories, which brings about more, like it just snowballs from there, right?
Yeah.
So,
With the memories though, I'm finding now, with not just the memories, more revelation or revealing, of things that have been right in front of your face, but you
yeah.
haven't really seen, but then you now seeing it, and not just specifically with relationships that we have, because now we're looking at people and situations like, oh my gosh, like how am I been in this long, or how could I not see that? So it's like, we're getting things revealed on that level, like right there in front of us. But I
Mhm.
always say you're the master grid worker, because there are always things happening, what I say, above, beyond, around, and in the universe that you are kind of tapping into, moving around, shifting. You always are doing videos saying, "Oh, just another day of grid work," and then you're looking and showing us some things in the sky. Like, "Oop, look at that over there versus over there." I've been working, and I'm just like, "What is Natalie outside doing today?" Because literally things that the person doesn't see with their naked eye, I should say, or things that we're not paying attention to or in tune to, you literally point out, as, see, look at this grid work that I did, look at the sky over there, look at how that looks versus that, I've been working over here like with this. And so that's why, and so I never, even in my spiritual awareness and place of being, because I'm so wrapped up in helping these beings here in front of me in 3D, 4D. You're kind of off in the cosmos doing some stuff, helping
Mhm.
all of us, down here, doing things that we can't see, that are just not in our, awareness field, or field of sight, I should say, line of sight here on Earth.
Exactly.
So we got to thank Natalie and the grid workers who are doing all that. I call it behind the scenes stuff, stuff that we're just not even cognizant that you're doing, because
Mhm.
it affects us all of here on such a big level, as above, so below, and you're doing a lot of that. Let me ask you something. I know I had you on here before, but I don't think I actually covered this. So, like when you do your I want to say grid work, not so much light code activation and channeling, but just actual grid work, because you're
Mhm.
literally looking, seeing where things need to be shifted, moved. How, because I have people in this chat who are probably being upgraded and stepping into kind of what Natalie is doing and has experienced. How did you even connect to like doing grid work or your awareness and ability to kind of see and move things around? Like, how did that happen to you, or did you experience? How did
Mm.
you experience that?
Hmm. So I use muscle testing, and this is funny because this is the second time this question has come up today. Um, so this is like must be a thing.
It is a
Um,
thing.
it's a thing. It's a thing. So yeah, what happened is every morning I wake up and I'm like, what's my to-do list? How does that look? How does it feel? What's the priorities? Like I'm running through my day and I'm muscle testing. So if it stops between, it's a yes, and if it goes right through, it's a no. So I'm asking my questions and I'm like testing away and I'm like, okay. So if that breaks, it like I that's how I communicate. Like I hear it, but then I test. Did I just hear that? Okay, I did. Is so and so speaking? Okay, I hear it. See you. Yes. And but I always have my muscle testing as my secondary form of like confirmation. So always use two forms so that one isn't distorted. So it's very rare that they can mess two up at the same time. So I always use like a secondary form, and that's my muscle testing. But
Mhm.
that's the easiest one to get messed up. If there's something going on in the grid system, if there's something going on in the cosmos, in the planets, in the upper realms, like it will go bad. My muscle testing will stop working. So that's how I identify something's problematic somewhere because my muscle testing is not working. So then I go in and I look at where is it? Is it here in the 3D? Is it here on our planet? Is it here like outside of our planet? Is it like where is it that I need to be addressing the challenge? Today, when I woke up, my muscle testing was wonky. And when it goes wonky, there is like sometimes where it just doesn't work. And that's very rare. Oftentimes it will give you just misleading information and you're like that's not logical at all, like that's not right. So once I discover it's not right, then I can ask, okay, it's a planet, like I'm testing around seeing what it is. I locate the problem and then I can go to wherever the problem is and look around and see, okay, this has like no energetic feel to it, has no energetic signature to it.
Mhm.
Why does it have no energetic signature? And then you're like, it needs to have one. And then you just like problem solve through it. Okay, so if it has no energetic signature, what caused it to go offline? Okay, and then they show me over here, and you're like, well, that planet looks messed up too. So we have two planets that are messed up. Okay, let me go to that one because that if they're pointing over here, that's the one that's the problem to this one. So I'm like, go over there, and then I'll like see a being standing there and they're like, I was waiting for you. And you're like, what's the deal? Why is your energy not flowing from you over to here? And they're like, well, our energy's turned off. Okay, well, it's apparent. So why is your energy turned off? So you have to break it down. Sometimes it's beings that you have to talk to get the grid on theirs up and running and their energy flowing to the next one. Um, and then other times today, it was Gaia. Her energy was not flowing and moving like it was supposed to. And just like how we clear ourselves, I clear for Gaia.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, she's got an inner capsule, her inner body isn't working. Okay, let me pull in more light for that. Let me like tap around and move around and light it up with my energy and pull in energy and then pull that out and expand it. And then I'm like looking at it and like moving it around. And then it stays lit. And then I have to ask, is it gonna stay lit even when I exit? If it doesn't, then I need to find like what the next problem is to address.
I feel like you're like IT for the planet. Like you're
It is.
the IT person. Like, Natalie, we got some energy issues over here. Can you check it out and see what the problem is? Like literally.
Yes.
I love that. You're like you can you can tell how we all have special assignments during our time
Yes.
here on the planet that definitely fit us. You guys, I will never say never, but you probably won't catch me doing what Natalie is doing, like doing some that doesn't fit Dawn at all. You guys would things if you counted on me to have to move, shift, and get things together, there's no telling where we would be. I need to stay right here on Earth with the people and kind of work down here on the planet, because it definitely aligns with who
Hmm.
you are, with definitely who you are. Um, oh, somebody has the comment. Let's see. Natasha says, I felt that with Gaia this morning, was pulled to blast music and sing at the top of my lungs for a vibration change.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Our
okay.
collective definitely feels it. When that grid is wonky or it goes out or there's no energy coming through, we are connected to that grid. So if
Mhm.
something happens to it, your body should feel it. If you're like a highly sensitive person, you should feel it through your system and you're like you wake up and you're like something's not right. I don't know what it is, but something's not right. And then you'll start getting clues like there'll be a song stuck in your head suddenly you'll be like why do I have twist and shout stuck in my head? Like that old time twist and shout, that song will start playing, and you're like, someone's like, I haven't heard that for years. Why is it playing? And then you have to get on YouTube and start listening and blasting your music, and the vibration and the frequency will help lift the stuff that Gaia needs.
Now, did you guys get all that? Because she gave you guys a lot of gems. So many people are like, I don't know when I'm getting divine guidance. I'm not sure. She took you through a basic, simple scenario. You hear music. You ask, why am I hearing this music? You listen to the music. You say, maybe this is trying to tell me something in relation to like something that's going on the planet. You start to question and ask, and nothing is without reason. Like you said,
Mm.
you hear twist and shout, you might shrug it off. Don't shrug it off. Don't shrug
Mm.
it off.
Mm-mm.
Everything that comes to you in your awareness is coming for a reason.
Totally. It is.
Yeah.
And we all, like you said, we all have different roles. And like for myself, that's one aspect of what I do.
Yeah.
There might be like later on in the day, I have this like heart tapping, something's tapping on my heart. Like I feel this energetic knocking. It feels like heart palpitations. Like it beats, 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 and then all of a sudden, while it's beating, it stops and thumps really loud. And I'm like, what was that? What's going on? And now I know that it's a spirit will come in and they'll say like they want to help with something or they need my help with something and then it's communicating with them. I always think of it like I don't want to be bored ever, so I never do the same thing. It's always like changing up or moving into different things. A lot of my work is healing, so speaking to other people's higher selves and then finding out why are these things happening and what's going on in their past lives and things like that.
So look, I had a person. I've been like, kind of letting everyone know on my social media you were going to come on here. And I had someone DM me a question to ask you tonight.
Oh, good.
So Sarah438 says, I would like to become a channeler. She says, but I'm beginning my journey of astral traveling. She says, I know that channeling is beyond astral traveling, but she says, do you start astral traveling or astral projection first before channeling? She says, or is there a hierarchy? Or she says,
Mhm.
I'm just confused on how this starts. She says, how it starts. Um,
Yeah, what gifts come online
yeah.
first? Well, channeling, there's a lot of different ways to channel. So you can like auto write and type, or you can just hear it telepathically in your head. You're still channeling in information. I always tell people as long as you can get a clear yes and a clear no, you're good to go because you have a map, right? You can at least have an idea of where north, south, east, west is if you can have a yes and a no. Otherwise, like you're not at that stage. And most of us have an inner knowing. Most
Mhm.
of us can have that heart space where you're like, this feels not right. So get a clear yes and a clear no, and then you should be able to start channeling in information. Some people, even if it's a clear knowing, you're still channeling. But my
Yeah.
guess is uh, they want the really juicy channeling stuff where it's like either it's light language channeling or it's like um I don't know, maybe drawings, but or yeah, maybe trance channeling. Those are the ones where people tend to be able to see there's something different, something's happening over there. When you just hear it in your head, they're like, okay, that's great, but don't we all hear stuff in our head? Um, it's different, and I think
Yeah.
too, oftentimes, people don't realize, at least I didn't realize, that the voice in my head sounds like me. It doesn't sound like a being. It still uses my well, like, it sounds like me, it's just exactly the same,
That's
and
right.
so it's like, "Should I go get pizza? Should I go get pizza?" And you're like, "Wait, there's an what's going on?" So don't expect the voice to change into some other voice that you haven't heard before, um, because, yeah, it still is channeling, and then astral traveling, I'm trying to think if I astral traveled
You kind of
before.
look, here's the thing. I think you're so outside of that. Like you're a girl, you're all in the grid, working in the cosmos. So to me, you are the astral. Like forget traveling, you're in it, working in it, so to
Yeah.
speak. So I think maybe that's where she was coming from. Like in order to work, with the grid, do you have to first go into? I think I'm interpreting this from a 3D way of thinking. I think is where she's coming. Like like
Okay.
like we're taught that there's a hierarchy to, you go to school, you get a job, you go to school, you get a degree, you work, you do, like that's our programming and conditioning. So I think she's trying to carry that over to
Mhm.
this as well. Like there's a hierarchy, as if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
it's kind
think
of not.
yeah, no, there isn't. It's sort of like everybody has their uniqueness, and the gifts that come online are dependent on the work that you need to do. So
Yep.
we don't come online and be like our gifts don't just suddenly show up and because we're just are like, I just want to be badass today. I just need to be like zip, 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 zip. Uh-huh. Like, no, that's not how it works. So there has to be a purpose. And if the purpose is for something. Like we're here to serve. So it's not for anything internal or yourself or any of those things. It's all, my gift came online. My first one that I was conscious of was I could feel people's energy. I could feel I was working emotion code, and the emotion code is about people's nervous systems. So when I connected to their nervous system, I could feel what they were feeling.
Mm,
And I used a chart to get a yes and a no on what the feelings were, like, to identify it. Because just because I could feel it didn't mean I knew what the word was for it or where
right.
it was coming from. So I use a chart to identify what that feeling is and really narrow it down. And then I didn't realize at the time, but open the record of what created that feeling for that person. And
Mm,
so and I didn't know. If somebody would have said, "Natalie, do you know how to read Akashic records?" I would have been like, "I don't even know what the record is. I don't know what you're talking about." But because I wasn't hung up on the name of it, I was just going intuitively what the person needed. They needed to know why that feeling was in their nervous system, and because I was coming and connecting and identifying and isolating that information, I could access the record. And
mm,
all the record looked like, it wasn't like this big process of going to a prayer and doing all these it literally was narrow down the information and ask the person obviously is consenting because they're there connected with my nervous system with theirs. And I would just say, this feeling of intense fear and abandonment, where did it start? And the movie would start to play. I'm like, oh, I see them walking and then they disappear. Where's the rest of the people? They were there 1 minute and gone the next. What happened? And then I would rewind the movie and play frame by frame, and then I would ask to look through the eyes of the individuals that were there, like, what did they see that I didn't see? And so I could go actually into the scene of that record piece and see what was going on and feel it. I'm like, wow, it's windy here. What's going on? Why is it so windy? And it's like, oh, okay. It was some sort of tornado that happened here. So that's why they have fear of abandonment, because they're there 1 minute and it's unexplainable. They're gone the next. So then
mm,
once I could explain that to the person and access it through the records like that, then it created change for them because they no longer had this fear of abandonment because they understood what took place.
yeah.
So that was I didn't wake up one day and think, I want to access the records. Like you have to, it's through actions that we end up with our gifts coming online. So because I was then healing people's nervous systems, taking them through the process of understanding their past lives and why they have these feelings, I then had a client turn around and give me some like light language. I didn't even know it was light language. She's like, I have something happening to me and I just need to send it to you. And she sent it to me, and all of a sudden I had like it was a recording, then it sounded like this. That's all it sounded like, and I was, like, listening to it because 'cause I'd never heard anything like it in my life, and I was listening to it, and I was laying back in my bed, listening to this thing, and I was like, "She's absolutely lost it, like, I don't know what this is." And then all of a sudden, I felt this, like, pressure inside my head, and it was, like, moving upwards. It kinda came in my ears because that's where the noise is coming in, and then it, like, created this, like, crazy ball of pressure, and it went pop, and I was like, "Whoa, what is happening? What was that?" It sounded like an egg cracked is what it sounded like. It
Mm.
popped, and I was like, "What was that?" And then that noise started coming out of me. And I was like, "No, no, 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 no." I was like, "What is going on? I don't know what's happening." And that was the start. So I was like, people would argue that reading the records is a higher skill set
Mhm.
than like like, so they would say, so I don't think that there is an order in which things kind of come online. It's dependent on the work that you need to do. And because I was accessing the records and I needed to help people's nervous systems heal through traumatic events, I, at some point, it was decided that my light language could be used as a healing tool. And
Mm.
so, which makes sense. And so then
Yeah.
they like activated that through somebody else, me listening to it. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be a client. It can, like how it was for me, it can be something you're sent to listen to on YouTube. Like there's so many people in our community that do light language activations or, attunements or light body attunements and all these types of things. And a lot of it's free. It's on social media. We just do, if we're called to do it, we're called to do it. Like, we just put it out there. And so, yeah, you never really know what might come through and what gift might come online.
Well, you are doing so much now, and you're offering it's like you're coming up with more and more offerings as you're being guided to. And I
Mhm.
know you're doing well, tell them what you're doing because you're doing something like 2 or 3 days a week, every week. I think you're offering something. You can let them know kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It like literally, I started out with them saying, you're gonna hold a channeling group. And so I was like, okay. So I put together this channeling group. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just guiding, right? So I put together, they're like, just open it up, do this, and just open it up and see what happens. I'm like, okay, cool. So I open it up. And at first, it started out as a sacred women's circle. And it was every other week. And then quickly I realized, like, this isn't enough. Like, we need to get together every week. And so we got together every week. And some of those sort of like, went through their experiences because it's was moving through trauma and working through that shadow stuff and feeling safe amongst women. So that's kind of where we were on the old grid. That was kind
Mhm.
of where we were. And then as we got closer to the new grid, the masculine energy came in and the feminine energy came in and it aligned and balanced really nicely. And so they said to me like you're going to open up another group and I was like, "Mm, okay." And it was Monday night. No, sorry, it was Saturday night channeling. So we started with just Saturday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So we did that, and that filled up. It was so beautiful. Like everybody came together. They're clearly all on their own mission, like on a mission together, and they're growing. So it's expansive growth of individuals that are like, I want to learn to channel. I don't channel, or I do a little bit, but I don't. I need to know how to do it more. And
Mhm.
holding space together creates these activations. And then we've done 11 weeks now.
Mm.
And there's one, like, they're just so amazing. The individuals, we go on these like journeys. We went to Ethiopia and we had this stuff happening in Ethiopia. We changing timelines and moving things around, working on the grid. And because we're all there and seeing it and feeling it in a collective way, like that, it's so powerful. So we did Saturday in for that group, and then we did the second one came on because the European people were like, "That nighttime doesn't work for us, like, it's not the right time." And so I did morning time, so we do Tuesday mornings at 10 AM, for those guys, And
Mhm.
that group is equally as beautiful. That one seems to be more about spirits. How do you stay cleansed? How do you put up safe spaces? Um, how do you work when other people are in your home and you don't like an apartment building? Like what do you do when it's an apartment building? So we answer like all these kinds of questions about like how do you like what's the protocol for saging? What if I have to go somewhere but I can't bring my sage? Like how does this work? Um, so being very energy sensitive in a world that like is the world that we live in. So how do we move through that? So it's sharing our experiences, and I have a co-facilitator. His name is Glenn, and he does all the like scientific stuff. He works in the past. He's worked with Joe Dispenza, so he's
Oh,
bringing like some of that knowledge, science, and all of that jazz with him. And so he's just amazing. And yeah, we just rock it on the Saturday nights, the Tuesday mornings, and then they said, Natalie, it's all about healing right now. We need to heal the DNA. We need to like heal through some of that stuff. Like forget about the trauma. Those people that they dropped off. Like we're not working on trauma and shadow work anymore. If people don't know how to do shadow work, that's not a you job anymore. You let them do their shadow work with whoever they need to. But for right now, you're gonna be all about healing. And I was like, okay. So they had me put together a healing course, and which is awesome. And it's all 6 modalities, and it's like Egyptian, the Syrians, the Arcturians, right from source. Like all of those came in, and we put it all together. All the different ways each race does it. And then we, yeah, put together the Healing Monday.
and so, okay, all of these things, because I know people are gonna say, "Well, how do I sign up? Is it too late?" Or, you know, these are ongoing, right? It's not like this is the first group, the next group starts on this date.
Mm-mm.
Is it like it's not like that, right?
No, it's like anybody can come to any of them, and when they come in, there's all the recordings of all the ones we've done prior. So they have
Okay.
access to like the back the portal, their own membership portal, and they can access those and listen to them or watch them. And then yeah, there's no criteria that you don't have to have your light language active. You don't have to be actively channeling. Just come and get a better understanding of like sometimes we just need to see it to know
Mhm.
what it's like and experience it. Um, mm,
Is this on your can they access this through your website? Is it divinetransmissions.com? What is
yep.
your address? It is.
So it's let me see if I can put it in the chat for us.
Yeah, because I'm
Mm.
gonna put it underneath this video as well when we're done. I'll pin it for information, for you guys.
Ah, that's beautiful.
Gotta do that. You mentioned Glenn was awesome. Somebody just said Glenn is awesome, so they must
Mm, I'll
yeah,
give you
'cause
my link tree and in the chat, and then that way you can go look at all of the stuff.
okay. Oh, Danny says, "Yes, he is." We gotta meet Glenn, huh? Everybody says he's
Yeah.
awesome. We okay, Glenn, we see you.
Mm, so you guys can meet Glenn because I'm holding the Solstice event.
Yeah, that's next.
So,
Let's get into that because you gotta go in a few minutes. She's hosting
yeah.
a live solstice after this. Tell them about it, Natalie. What's going on?
Yeah. So Glenn and I got together and we were like, we got to do something for the solstice. Like it's such a powerful thing. And these stargates are coming online and they're bringing in these new strands. And it's all what we need in order to be on the new system in January. So we like how we had a new system in September, we're getting a new one in January. Like this is fast tracked. Like they are moving our DNA in order for us to like be able to be good in January. So I'm like, holy, this is fast. Anyways, Glenn and I were like, "Yeah, let's fire up these stargates, and now they're in alignment. Now's a good opportunity to do that." And so we decided that we would invite the Saturday, Monday, all the classes. We can all come, and then we were like, "Why were we stopping at just the classes?" He's like, "The more the merrier. Like anybody can come." I'm like, "Yeah, anyone can come." So we put it out, the link out. So if you guys want to join, I'm gonna put it here in the chat for us.
Okay.
And then we can just head on to the Zoom and meet Glenn.
Of course. Look, Glenn. Um,
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, what I'm going to do, because she has to go in 1 minute, because it starts at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's 9:59 her time. She has 1 minute. I hope you guys got all your questions in, because I really, Natalie's good at answering the questions and comments, and so I wanted to give you all of you guys an opportunity. We're so happy she came. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Natalie. I'm going to pull you off so you can. Oh, they say everybody's saying they don't see the link.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, we don't see it over here. I don't
You
see it
don't see
either.
it? Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me put it
Oh,
in
she put
the
it in the private chat.
Oh, that's why. Okay,
Yeah,
here.
it's in the private chat.
I
So
moved it over to the YouTube. And then
okay,
this one is my
let's see.
Do you guys see it now in the YouTube chat?
No, we still don't have it. Let's see if I can move it for you guys, because I don't want her to be late, and I don't want you guys to miss it. Copy, paste
That's so
it,
strange.
paste. You guys, oh, here it is.
Oh, Wanda. Yay, Wanda. Thanks for posting it. There.
You guys see it? It's in there. Oh, Wanda posted it too. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna thank you, Natalie. We are so happy. We're going to let you go. I'm gonna say my goodbyes and give some final wrap ups.
Awesome.
Maybe I'll see about joining you guys after this. That would be great. How long will you guys be on? Do you know, or you don't know?
We don't know. We're just
Okay,
gonna wing it.
All right. Well, we'll see. But thank you, Miss
goes.
Natallie Nadine.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you for getting me calm and centered. Thank you, my darling.
You're welcome.
All
Take
right.
care, guys. Thanks.
Bye
Bye for
bye.
now.
We love Natalie. Don't we love Natalie? We love her, love her, love her. So she has to get to the live solstice event. Okay, you guys, this has been great. This has been a heck of a year. 2023 has come and it is gone. I have had some wonderful guests. I have grown, I have learned, I have evolved, I have been activated in different areas. And so have you guys. I know you have, because we've all been in this together. But oh, y'all, wait till 2024. I got some guests lined up. I'm going to say this. My first guest is under the age of 10. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. It took me forever to get this person, but the mama finally reached out to me yesterday and said, we gonna do it. Yay. I'm not telling you, y'all got to tune in January to find out who it is, but I guarantee you will not be disappointed. You will love it. So look at that face. Look at Natasha. Honey, yeah, get that face. You don't know who it is. Get that face, because it's going to be good. But you guys, I will be returning January 8th, Monday, January 8th. So I'm going to take a little break, a little hiatus, if you will, to get myself together. And so you guys get yourself together too, because we got some stuff that's coming through to end this year off energetically. And so just keep following me on social media. You guys, I haven't been posting very much, just because I've been in the flow myself of the energy, and I've been kind of taking it in, absorbing it, and I've been kind of stingy. I haven't been wanting to come talk to y'all because I've been talking to myself for a lot the last couple of weeks. So just stay with me, and let's keep going through this, you guys. If you like this video or it resonated with you, please click the like button. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. The goal is still 1,000 subs by the end of the year, y'all. We got time. I still got time. I think I'm like 80 away. We can get 80, can't we? Yay! We can do it. We can do it. I know we can. I want to thank you guys so much for your don't worry about it. You say you clicked the link, it didn't work. It's okay. I'm going to put it in the comments as soon as I get off of here. If you want to as well, go to Natalie's Instagram. No, she says go to her YouTube. She told me to tell you guys, go to her YouTube at Divine Transmissions. And there will be a link as well in her YouTube. Okay. So you guys just have a good rest of the year. You guys get over there to that live solstice. I know you'll love it. Come on back January 8th. And remember, click the like button. And make sure you leave questions and comments if you're watching the replay. I love you guys. I will see you next year. Take care and have a good night. Bye-bye.